We have a really interesting history that goes back to our founders' commitment to really representing the state of Alaska. And what they did was they decided, in order to represent everything that they wanted to embody about what the beer was going to be and how they wanted to represent the state, they researched historic recipes. They found out that there were 9 different breweries operating before Prohibition in the Juneau area, and there were 3 that had a common brewer, and they found an article from that brewer who talked about a smooth amber ale that he was brewing. Coming to Ohio means 3,400 miles of travel for that bottle of beer that goes into an Ohioan's hand when they order an Alaskan Amber. We want our beer to be as fresh as possible, to be in a great state when it gets into that drinker's hand. So it's something that has been a challenge for us, and it's why we've kind of geographically for 30 years have grown really very slowly. So we have this process that we call beer-powered beer. We recover all of the CO2 that is created by yeast and fermentation. We capture that CO2 and we use that for the CO2 that runs the plant. We have a spent grain boiler system, so it's the only one in the world. We take all of our spent grain, we dry it, and then we burn it in a furnace, and that furnace creates the steam that then runs the brew deck, that then makes the spent grain, that then we put in the furnace, so that's called beer-powered beer. It's that cyclical cycle. And it is part of a philosophy for us of sustainability. The styles of beer that we brew sometimes have a direct historic relationship with Alaska, sometimes they actually have an ingredient relationship with Alaska, and then often have a lifestyle relationship with Alaska. Our smoked porter is made by smoking malt over alderwood, which is the traditional wood used to smoke salmon in Alaska. Our Icy Bay IPA is a bracing, kind of big, bold beer. Well, we thought a perfect representation of that is these wild guys in Alaska who go out and surf in the winter. They find surf breaks in the winter and surf in dry suits in Alaska. It's really fun to go to different states and go to different markets and have people, number one, be excited about the idea of a beer from Alaska, but also people who know about our beer because we've been brewing for 30 years. You know, we're one of the most award-winning breweries at the Great American Beer Festival. Alaskan Smoked Porter is the most award-winning beer in the history of that festival. So people who are into beer have heard about us, and then even people who haven't heard of specifically of our beer know about our state, and because we are so committed to representing our state with our product, it ties in perfectly for what they are trying to anticipate an Alaskan experience is about. I mean, one thing I always think about with our beers is that no matter where you order it, you're buying local, because you're buying a locality. You're buying a place that's all about where it's from. But it also represents a lifestyle, it represents the spirit of Alaska.